Don't forget to go to ashkicking.com for pound the best home health and beauty fragrance products.
Yo, this is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation, baby.
With no further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it.
Yeah.
Milton, so we had a good weekend of boxing. I mean, it ain't gonna be like this weekend coming up.
No.
But it was, it was some
good.
boxing.
It was good. It was some good boxing, man.
We didn't have a drought, so go ahead and give me your thoughts.
I guess we'll start from the top with saying farewell to a legend. One of the best to lace him up.
Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, Miguel Cotto. He finished up. It didn't quite go as well as he wanted it to.
Not at all.
I kind of thought that I thought he would pull it out, but I thought it would be a tough fight. I knew Saddam was going to be in there to fight. A lot of people thought that it was a cherry pick. They compared it to
Jeff Warren Pacquiao.
Yeah, or either Floyd Berto, but that even really wasn't a straight up cherry pick. Berto was a tough ass fight, but Floyd just made it look easy. But it's a lot of people giving him some flack about it. But I'm still proud of the fighter that Cotto is. I'm not gonna give him a hard time about it. He went out there. He gave it his best. He appeared to be injured after the 7th round. So, he's 37 years old, man. He's been in some tough wars, and hey, he went out there and gave it one last shot. So I tip my hat to him, my Georgia cap. If y'all hadn't noticed that, SEC champions. But I digress. Yeah, I tip my hat to him, man. Farewell, enjoy retirement. Thanks for all the great fights you gave us, Miguel, and we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, man. Salute to Miguel Cotto. Speaking of the bicep tear, I thought it was kind of interesting because in the first fight, Roy Jones and them, they were talking about injuries because you gotta help me out. What's is Ray the short,
Ray Vargas.
Ray Vargas and the short guy's name, his opponent.
Negrete.
Okay, Negrete. Ray Vargas, he started to drop them body shots towards the later rounds,
right?
And then close to the end of the fight, Negrete, he went to his corner, and Roy could already I think it was Roy and Max or whatever, they could kind of read. It looked like it looked like the body language, like he was ready to kind of quit,
right?
hang him up, and because he was talking to his trainer, and his trainer was trying to push him,
motivate him,
right?
Yeah,
he was trying to push him, motivate him, and it was funny because I remember hearing Roy Jones after that. Roy Jones, he had said, look, I tell my fighters, if you do have an injury, they tell me something wrong with their right hand, I say, what's wrong with your left hand?
Right.
Well, you gotta keep fighting. He said, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. He didn't say that, but that's pretty much what he said.
That's just what he was getting at.
Yeah,
right,
he was saying, it's a tough sport, and it comes with that. So what he was basically saying is there are no excuses. I mean, some excuses are better than others, of course.
Right.
If you like, what's his name, John Pascal. Who in there looking like a zombie with one arm hanging, like somebody just blew half his damn, arm off.
Right.
That's a different situation.
That's a different situation.
But in this, that brings us back to the Cotto. I mean, when it comes to Miguel Cotto, like you said, he's 37. Clearly, the foot movement gave him a lot of problems.
Fight. Yeah.
Credit to Saddam. Congratulations to Saddam Ali.
Man. Congratulations
to Saddam. That was his dream, like he said.
Right.
His hometown.
Right.
He beats Miguel Cotto in his front yard, basically. Front yard and backyard.
Right.
So congratulations to Saddam.
Right.
You could see that from the beginning. He was outboxing Cotto just a little bit.
Right.
And it was funny because every time Saddam gave Miguel Cotto a lot of respect and stopped punching, that's the only time when Cotto was building momentum.
Right.
And I was looking at the fight and I was like, I don't know why. And as soon as Saddam let his hands go,
right,
he started to receive the respect from Miguel Cotto again.
Exactly.
Cotto would start backing up. And I was like, man, is Saddam not noticing that every time?
He did not notice it.
Yeah.
Did you notice his trainer, Andre
Rozier?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He kept pushing him. And even Curtis Stevens came up to the apron, and Curtis Stevens, because I think they're in the same stable, in the same camp. And so he came up to the apron and was like, man, everybody in there was like, listen, man, you letting this get away from you. I don't know if Saddam was caught up in who he was fighting. Because he rocked Cotto in the second round, twice in the second round.
Yeah.
And let him off the hook.
But let's bring you in, Money. Money, I noticed, just like Milt just said, that he hurt him. But I thought, Money, that Saddam did notice, at least the first time, he definitely noticed. I thought that he hurt him. You could see, Miguel Cotto, he was almost doing some of them dances that your son be putting on these kids, But with that being said,
oh man.
With that being said, Money, do you think Saddam noticed that he was hurting him, or you think he was just respecting him, afraid that he would get caught with something if he got too eager?
My son said the same thing you just asked, and he was thinking that maybe I think it was a little bit of both. He knew he hurt him, but he was still giving him respect because he didn't want to get caught as early. You don't know what Miguel is capable of because he does have recuperative powers. True. He has the ability to come back.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he could crush you with a left hook. Yeah.
But when I saw him get hit, and I'd even said it right before it happened, I said the way that Miguel Cotto holds his left hand down, I've said this about him many, many times before. He is extremely susceptible to that straight right hand, someone coming right down the line with it. They're going to nail him all day long. That's exactly what happened. Exactly. And I was worried from that point on.
Yeah,
I was too. I didn't think he would make it through the entire fight, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if Saddam Ali wasn't throwing every single punch at the same velocity, the same speed, kind of telegraphing stuff, throwing it a little wide, he might have been able to set up the knockout punch. Right. But everything was telegraphed. Everything, was home. It had home run intentions on it. And I think that's why he couldn't actually get the knockout. And that's what separates special fighters once again. Like when it comes to Errol Spence figuring out a way to stop Kell Brook. You have to be intelligent. You have to be very selective with your punches to get somebody like that out. Same thing with Algieri. Pacquiao knocks him down 6 times, couldn't figure out the puzzle on getting the KO.
Getting him out of there.
He even with Jeff Horn. He hurt Jeff Horn, couldn't figure out how to close the deal. And Errol Spence was able to do that. Saddam Ali, hopefully, he learns from this fight and learns how to finish. But once again,
put punches together.
Yeah, put punches together. Maybe every once in a while you throw a curve ball, then it's a speed ball, a slow one. Every once in a while you throw some pity pat shots and then land something hard.
You know who the king of that was, man? Was B-Hop.
Mm-hmm.
B-Hop varied speed and distance and varied the speed and the strength of his punches so well, man. And it just reminded me of that. But I remember when he fought Joppy, which was in my book, I have that listed as like the quintessential. If you want to see a technical fight, somebody just dismantle another fighter, disarm them, dismantle them, and hit them with everything that they want to touch them with. B-Hop over Joppy was that fight.
No doubt about it.
But he started trying to knock him out because he bet on himself to knock him out, and everything he was throwing was hard.
Did he bet on himself in that fight?
Yeah, he bet on himself to KO because Joppy had got knocked out by. We doing a little history lesson right here, folks. I'm sorry about that.
It's boxing talk, man. It's boxing talk.
Hey, listen, I think Trinidad had knocked out Joppy.
Yeah. In a savage, vicious way, man.
Right, and so B-Hop said he was gonna knock him out, and he bet on himself for the knockout. Because you remember B-Hop was putting money on himself at one point in time just to make a little extra cash. He even put money on himself for the Trinidad fight. For the Trinidad fight. Yeah.
Oh, I know he came up. I know he came up on that one.
Yeah, he did.
I ain't gonna even sit here and try to act like I picked that one. I thought Hopkins was gonna get annihilated in that fight.
I picked it, man. I'm serious. He was in his head. He was in his head for one thing because he went over there and threw the Puerto Rican flag on the ground, and then he was like, I bet he did it in the States, and then he was like, I bet you won't do it in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
and he went over there to Puerto Rico and almost didn't make it out alive.
I never forget when he did that. They was escorting him out. I'll never forget this. It was like
Floyd Chop Chop was good too. Floyd Chop Chop. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it was a time when Hopkins, like I said, he threw the flag down in Puerto Rico. You know, they rushed him out.
They rushed him out.
And you had some seats right above him as he had to go through.
Yeah,
and
man.
I remember this fan, boy, he threw a hell of a little hook uppercut, and he was timing it perfect. And that just show you how good that boy Hopkins reflexes
I'm telling
is,
you, man.
because he wasn't even looking. Hopkins wasn't even looking, and this dude threw a perfect.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He just went boom.
Yeah.
He timed it. You could just see he was waiting. He was like, yeah, come on. Get a little closer, B-Hop. Get a little closer. He threw that shit, and B-Hop he slipped that shit like the Matrix and just kept on moving. I was like, boy.
Yeah, man, I'll never forget that one, bro. That was some hype.
Yeah,
that was some hype.
Absolutely. It was something. Was somebody about to say something else? Okay.
I apologize. And then Kirk, I want to bring you in on that on what you thought about Cotto's performance and Saddam Ali's performance from last night.
Well, I think many people expected Cotto to actually run through Saddam Ali based on Saddam. The last time we saw him in a meaningful fight was against Jesse Vargas, and he got knocked out.
Right.
At welterweight. So I think people were expecting, Cotto, he's fought at junior middleweight, he's fought at middleweight. He's known for his power and his technique and his skills, so surely he should be able to stop Saddam Ali, much in the fashion Jesse Vargas was. But what people failed to take a look at is Saddam Ali's style. Maybe it's not directly like Austin Trout's or like a Floyd Mayweather, but he has the ability to move and to counterpunch, and he has good boxing ability. So his footwork we saw and his lateral movement gave Miguel Cotto problems where he couldn't really set down, set on his punches and get get combinations off or to land consistently hard shots, maybe not until the mid rounds. So I think Saddam Ali's ability was underrated, and he was able to exploit Miguel Cotto's style and age, because Miguel Cotto definitely looked like he was old, because after the 7th or 8th round, he looked gassed. But
I just saw him.
He didn't go to the body as much as we're used to seeing him, and that's due to Saddam Ali's movement and his ability to counterpunch, because he countered and landed those right hands that stunned Cotto.
Yeah.
So, it was a testament to that, I believe.
Did you see, did y'all catch Cotto versus Komagai a couple months back?
Yeah,
he looked, but Komagai was there to be hit too. I will say that, and he does not have the head movement, the skill.
We're gonna take a call in a minute. Thanks for holding, guys. Go ahead, Milt.
Yeah, he doesn't have the skill that Saddam has, but I think that he has some very good power, man. I've seen him in some pretty good fights before, and Cotto was rocking him. And then another thing I think back to is, how was he able to take Canelo's shots? They stood toe to toe in the center of the ring, man, banging it out. And Saddam, I know it's the punch that you don't see. I know he probably anticipated some of those punches that Cotto was throwing, but I just don't see how he could take those shots from Cotto, and then he struggled when he gets hit by Saddam. I mean, he got rocked maybe about 3 or 4, at least 3, maybe 4 times.
Styles make fights too. Yeah. I mean, you had a guy that was coming forward as opposed to a guy who was moving away. And we also seen the frustration that set in when Cotto fought against Trout. You know, the movement and everything.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it was a little bit of a different style, but it was that type of, evasive, stick, hit and not be hit, type style.
Right.
And those type of styles usually give the majority of fighters problems.
Right.
So
this is Bobby, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.